What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Buzzyman. I'm coming back at y'all with another reaction video. Today we got why Gen Z is facing a career apocalypse. My thoughts on this, I think, like it's not Gen Z and what they're doing. It's that the money and the power right now is not in Gen Z hand. You know what I'm saying? Like Gen Z, we can learn, we can try to progress as much as we want to, but bro, until you get some money and then you actually get an opportunity, bro, it's done. And then think about it, bro. It's a whole lot more technology and shit now, bro. Like niggas is getting replaced daily, bro, at like normal ass jobs, bro. Like now when you go, bro, even when you go to McDonald's, bro, they have a fucking drink machine that make the drink for you, my nigga. I swear to God, like the cup will spin on the tray, spin around, and the drink will come out the drink machine. Like they're literally taking just simple, literally simple shit away. Um, I don't think like Gen Z is the problem. It's everything else around it. Not saying that we can't be the problem, but it's so much shit in the world that's changing and going on like daily, bro. Like not even every month, every year. Like the world is changing daily, bro. Like, but with that being said, man, let's just go ahead and get to the video, see what he got to say, bro.
According to the Wall Street Journal, Gen Z graduates are facing the worst job market in over a decade, with Anthropic's CEO warning that AI could eliminate nearly half of all entry level
Just told
jobs
y'all.
just within the next 5 years. And while
They talking about
72% of
next
Gen
five
Z
years,
lives
no, nigga,
paycheck to
every day.
paycheck, nearly
Every
half are
day.
working 3 or more jobs just to survive. Raising the question, why is Gen Z yet another generation promised a future that no longer exists? While obtaining a lifelong career was once as straightforward as simply answering a job post in the local newspaper or a firm handshake prompted by a help wanted sign in the window, today, despite 75% of employers stating they're struggling to fill job vacancies, the second highest rate in 2 decades, a 2022 study
That
of
shit
over
crazy,
300
bro.
job applications submitted
Shit
by
sad.
Business.com's departing interns found that only 12% received any response from employers, just 5% expressed interest in the applicant, and not a single application resulted in a hire, where employers were actually
And
more
then another thing I want to say, bro, like these employer websites like Indeed, LinkedIn, all types of shit, bro. They gotta take the scammers off, bro. Like the niggas that don't even like they're not even a job, bro. Like they just have a listing on there saying that they hiring for some shit. Like all the fake pages, bro. They have to clean that shit off their website, bro. And they have to like they need to enforce more people to like actually get on that bitch, bro. You know what I mean? Like I
likely
don't
to
know,
ghost
bro.
candidates if the graduate met over
I'm just speaking out my
90% of the
mind, bro.
listed requirements. And
I
although
don't
job
have the
postings have
answer.
been weaponized
I'm
to
just
serve employer
just saying how
interests
I
throughout
feel, bro.
most of modern history, most notably during the civil rights era, where employers flooded local job boards to portray government compliance by suggesting they were doing everything in their power to offer equal hiring opportunities, but just that no one was applying. The recent implementation of ghost jobs has essentially scaled greed and manipulation into a fully normalized
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm talking
institutionally
about. A damn
accepted
ghost
hiring
job, like them fake
practice.
ass
Where in a
listings that they
recent
be
survey
having on
by
that
My
shit.
Perfect Resume, 81% of recruiters admitted their organization had posted fake job listings, with 21%
Bro, I'm
acknowledging
telling
that
y'all, bro,
half their
like a
listings had
nigga that's
no
like going
intention
through
of
this shit,
resulting in
bro.
a
Like
hire.
I'm
And while
telling
some
y'all niggas,
ghost
bro.
jobs are simply the result of outdated or forgotten postings, many are deliberately created as a
Shit,
strategic tool
crazy.
to generate billions of dollars in hidden
They
profits.
got
Where
all this
journalist
fake
Bob
ass shit
Sullivan
with
notes
AI,
that
but
every
like they
week,
can't damn
data from
clean up their
75%
websites,
of
bro.
Fortune 500 companies,
I don't like that, bro.
85% of the federal workforce, and countless institutions flows into these databases, tracking everything from social security numbers and salaries to healthcare coverage and job tenure, with companies like Facebook, Amazon, Oracle, AT&T, and Microsoft feeding data into these systems. Where globally, Rikunabi, a major job-seeking platform in Japan that primarily caters to college graduates or those just entering the workforce, was caught selling predictive scores gathered through job applications to roughly 40 corporations, including Toyota and Mitsubishi, estimating how likely each applicant was to decline a job offer or withdraw their application. And because Japan's lifetime
That's
employment
crazy.
system promises job security for life in exchange for loyalty to a single company, the sale of these scores had an immeasurable impact on someone's entire career path. And while this was only uncovered due to Japan's data privacy laws, Unlike the United States, which still relies on so called business ethics, it
What they
turns
got
out that
Georgia? I ain't even
Rikunabi
see.
is
I'm
a
trying to see what Georgia
subsidiary
talking about.
of Recruit Group, the same media conglomerate that owns both Indeed and Glassdoor, where according to an analysis
I
by the
forgot about
workforce
Glassdoor,
analytics
bro. It's
firm
just so
Revelio
many
Labs,
websites with
as
the
a result of
same
platforms
bullshit,
like
bro. Like,
Indeed, Glassdoor, and LinkedIn, online job listings in 2024 were only half as likely to result in a hire as they were in 2020, signaling just how widespread and normalized these deceitful listings have become as a corporate recruiting strategy. And while the Library of Congress
telling you,
has
bro, they
officially
talking about
recognized ghost
change
jobs
within
as
the
a
next shit
serious
years,
concern in
bro. This
today's
shit is
job
changing
market, the
every
fact of
day,
the
bro.
matter is, we're facing not just a hiring crisis, but decades of societal abandonment of the working class, with a culture that blames every rising cost and systemic failure on what should be considered fundamental worker rights, where despite job scams and fake employment agency fraud increasing from $90 million in 2020 to over $500 million in 2024, and even
And
as
then another thing I want to say, bro, like, it's not even that niggas don't even want to work, bro. I'm sorry, not niggas, people. It's not even that people don't want to work, bro. It's just the value of a dollar right now, bro, is not outweighing time. Not saying that the money still don't go get no money. I'm not saying that. Go get your money. But the value of a dollar is not worth the value of time at this moment. Point blank period. And if you in America, you know that shit. Like everything is inflated right now. Um, like these jobs out here paying 10, $11, 7.25. Niggas getting paid every 2 weeks. Niggas getting paid monthly. Bro, that shit is ass. Like, what are we talking about?
legislators in New Jersey, Kentucky, and California have proposed bills to address ghost listings, no legislation has been introduced in Congress that explicitly targets this issue, or any of the systemic forces that have been undermining the workforce for the last 5 decades. Where, in my opinion, one of the most massively understated reasons this continues to happen actually has to do with government tax subsidies. Where Greg Leroy, executive director of Good Jobs First, a national policy center focused on corporate and government accountability and economic development, explains on his website and in his book, The Great American Job Scam, how tens of
Wait, I
billions of
thought Greg
taxpayer
Leroy was an
dollars
actor.
are funneled into corporate tax subsidies under the promise of job creation. But instead, it often leads to widespread layoffs through automation and outsourcing, despite companies still keeping the full tax breaks, ultimately turning into a redistribution of public funds back into the hands of certain government officials in the form of campaign contributions during re-election. Where alongside the broken promises of job creation at both the federal and corporate level, worsening economic conditions and the ideological belief that the working class is the only thing standing in the way of shareholder profits has resulted in a labor market that is completely sold off the bottom rung of the career ladder, where unlike America's post-war economic expansion, where hard work and dedication truly did provide a stable career filled with upward mobility, only 15% of current vacancies are now filled with internal candidates, a 75% decrease over the last 50 years,
Bro,
with
this shit
companies
is
now
crazy,
relying
bro.
more on outside hiring, often favoring those who already have years of work experience. With Scott Detman, CEO of Avincia, a US based career platform for new graduates,
Bro,
stating,
I know I keep pausing this shit, bro. But like, if y'all young, bro, not even young, bro. If y'all going to school, like college and shit, bro, please make sure that y'all choose something wisely, bro. Like, I'm be real. I want to say follow your dream, bro, but if your degree is low key some bullshit, bro, and you kind of know that shit, bro, talk to your family, get out of that shit, bro. Go to something serious. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, bro, business school, that shit cool and all, but like, bro, most of that shit that you learn and that shit right there, bro, it's all online. Like, not even on some cheating shit. Like, the source of information of what they're teaching us is online. The only thing school is doing. I wouldn't even say school is even pin that shit in the order, bro. Like, I want to say it's an order to shit. But to be honest, they're just grabbing. I'm not even sure if shit even line up. I'm gonna be real with you. If you go to school for business, marketing, some shit, some of that shit, bro, it's all online. Everything that they can teach you, fam, is on Google. I swear to God, it's nothing that different that they're teaching you in school. It's no skill that they giving you. I promise, bro. They want money. They want money. If you go to school, bro, choose some serious shit that literally as soon as you get done, you know you can go hand in hand with. I'm gonna be real with you, bro. Like if you approaching your last 2 years of college, bro, you should already have something lined up. And I'm speaking of personal experience of me not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like don't be like me, bro.
Employers are unhappy with the level of talent they're getting in the
I'm
entry
telling you,
level
bro.
space.
Don't
So
do it.
instead of trying to take
Choose you a
corrective
real
action, they've
career path.
increased experience requirements. In the
Like some
last 5
serious shit.
years, we've seen a 20% increase in the number of skills required on job listings. Where a study by Generation, a nonprofit network focused on economic mobility, found that of the 1,300 employers surveyed across 8 countries, including the US and UK, 94% required applicants for entry level tech jobs to already have experience in a related field. More broadly, out of 3.8 million jobs on LinkedIn, roughly 38.4% of entry level positions required 3 to 5 years of experience,
Bro,
forcing young workers to be
yes.
completely dependent on
Yes.
internships as a
Where the hell are you
prerequisite for
getting this
employment.
experience
With
from? Bro,
companies
this
such as
man is hitting this
ServiceNow
shit on the
reporting
nail.
a
Like, I'm so glad
50%
I watched
increase
this
in
video, bro.
internship applications this year, while Citadel saw applications rise by 65%, ultimately accepting just 300 of the 69,000 applications it received. And as
Like, that
competition
shit
for
is
these positions has
crazy, bro.
intensified, employers have taken advantage of the discounted labor, fueling a further rise in unpaid internships. Where according to the National Association of Colleges and Employers, 47% of internships in 2022 were unpaid, creating a new form of economic stratification, as paid interns averaged 1.4 job offers post-graduation, while unpaid interns averaged less than 1, effectively proving that even if you go to college, land an internship, and graduate, your chances of securing a job are severely limited if the internship was unpaid, because in the recruiter's eyes, an unpaid internship offers no more credible work experience than a basic service level job. Where this increasingly
Okay, so at
competitive
that
and
point, why are
misaligned
you
job
even
market
going to
isn't
tell them
just
that it was
affecting Gen Z in the United
unpaid? I'm saying I
States.
had a paid
Unfortunately,
internship.
it's a part of a much broader global trend. In
Like, bro,
Canada,
it's
their
they
youth
got
is
to a
facing the
point, like,
most
bro, you
challenging
can't
employment
even really
landscape in over
tell the
2 decades,
100%
with
truth on your
unemployment among
resume.
Gen
Like, bro,
Z
you have to
reaching
lie like fuck on a
12.2%,
resume. Like,
more than twice the
who
rate of the
wants to do
prime
that,
working
bro?
age population. In
I'm sorry,
China,
but
youth
I like to
unemployment
tell a
stands at
person literally
15.8%,
about me, bro.
prompting
Like,
many Gen Z
I'm
to adopt
not
the
trying to lie
label
about shit. I'm
rat
sorry, bro.
people, a satirical response to the overwhelming pressure of
Like, but you
competing in a
got to,
system
bro.
where meaningful career opportunities are rapidly disappearing. And as nearly 3/4 of all hiring managers continue to consider Gen Z to be the most difficult generation in the workforce, employers are making a calculated bet that AI will evolve fast enough to replace the need for entry-level talent, where unlike previous generations who
When
were
that shit
hired
happen,
based
bro,
on
it's
work
finna get
ethic, with
serious,
the
bro.
expectation
Like,
that job-specific skills would
serious.
be taught on the job. Today's employers are severely reducing
Like,
their
why are
already
so many
limited
people
training
just fascinated with
programs.
the
With a
robots and shit,
2021
bro? Like,
report from the Organization for Economic Cooperation
bro,
and
like these
Development,
people be
which
acting like
includes
they
over
live
100 countries
1,000 years,
focused on
bro. Most of
improving
these
public
people not even gonna
policy,
see a
uncovered that
hundred
most
years old. Like,
nations spend an average of
just hire people, bro.
0.62% of their GDP on active labor
Like, the
market
fuck y'all trying to make
programs, like
robots and
job
shit for?
training, employment incentives,
Like,
and
these
public
folks don't be
hiring
thinking about their
initiatives. The
kid
United
when they get
States
like they
spends
kid on
less
kid.
than
Like, bro, they just want to make fucking
0.1%,
robots, bro.
the
Like,
same as Chile, where as a result, despite estimates that 50% of entry level jobs could be eliminated within the next 1 to 5 years, the broader rise of automation and artificial intelligence is projected to displace another 45.3 million workers by 2030. And while many
bro,
in
y'all seen
Silicon
the
Valley
cars that be
compare the
driving by themselves
greatest
now, bro?
technological
Them Waymo
advancement in
motherfuckers.
human history to the
Soon it's gonna be
disruption of the
the
car
city
or
bus gonna be like that,
calculator,
bro.
the
Trust me,
reality
watch this shit.
is that the
I
speed at
promise you,
which
the
this
city
is
bus is gonna be
happening
just
is
like
not
that.
only
Watch this
eliminating
shit.
entire categories of work that once served as stepping stones for career advancement, but the complete lack of preparation is coming at the cost of an entire generation, all for the optimistic assumption that it will eventually lead to a better world. And while older members of Gen Z may still have time to self-educate in hopes of combating the uncertainties of just the next couple of years, the youngest are only 13, meaning their education and skill development will be shaped entirely by decisions made today. Or this is what the Secretary of Education had to say about artificial intelligence in schools.
I think it was a letter or a report that I heard this morning. I wish I could remember the source, but that there is a school system that's going to start making sure that first graders or even pre-Ks have A1 teaching, every year starting, that far down in the grades. And that's That's a wonderful thing.
And when considering the United States' track record of creating better jobs for future generations, combined with the complete lack of any favorable political or corporate direction over the last few decades, it's unfortunately hard to imagine that we won't face years of severe unemployment in the job market before potentially realizing any meaningful benefits from AI. Or during the unprecedented outsourcing of manufacturing jobs that dominated the 1980s, 90s, and early 2000s, Americans were told that factory jobs were beneath them, that they deserved better, higher quality careers. Yet during Reagan's 2 terms, despite creating 16.1 million jobs, only 28% were considered high-level occupations. The remaining 12.5 million were concentrated in low-wage service work. During Clinton's presidency, even with 22 million jobs created, between 40 to 45% were low-skill, low-wage service roles, with most of the so-called high-wage opportunities not coming from a healthy labor market, but from speculative hype during the dot-com bubble. And after the Great Recession, mid-wage occupations accounted for 60% of the jobs lost, but just 27% of those regained. Meanwhile, low-wage jobs, which made up only 21% of losses, accounted for 58% of new jobs created, pushing those without a college degree or those unable to secure a job post-graduation into low-skill, low-wage, dead-end roles, proving that Gen Z is not only having to compete over increasingly worse jobs, but the belief that better jobs are just around the corner is an overly optimistic fantasy. And even for those able to bypass the rings of Dante's Inferno just to get hired, wages are simply not maintaining the rising cost of living, where since 1970, the US dollar has lost roughly 85% of its value, with 25% of that erosion occurring just in the past decade. And despite nominal wage increases, productivity has increased 80% between 1979 and 2024, while wages have only grown by 29.4%, equating to an annual inflation-adjusted increase of just 0.2%, where according to a recent report from Newsweek, Gen Z carries the highest average personal debt at $94,101, far above millennials at $59,181, and Gen X at $53,255, where compared to just a decade ago, Gen Z is paying 31% more for housing, 46% more for health insurance, over twice as much for car insurance, and is projected to spend roughly $145,000 in rent just by the time they turn 30, compared to $126,000 for millennials at the same age. And if current trends persist, after tax, after healthcare income for the average family is projected to decline by 37% by 2030, with rising healthcare costs accounting for most of the loss. And while society is so unbelievably divided to the point that we fail to acknowledge we're all underpaid when accounting for the fact that minimum wage was intended to provide a living wage, today, roughly 44% of full-time US workers are not achieving that, effectively resulting in half the American workforce making less than the minimum wage would be if it had remained tied to worker productivity. I watched every single news clip about the job market that recent graduates are facing and how AI is going to replace entry-level jobs. I also watched the ones that were promoted in Canada. I also am subscribed to about 15 to 20, maybe 22 different media outlets, and I read every single news article that they had on that. What I increasingly got the sense of was maybe 25%, 20% was discussing the severe implications of 50% of entry-level jobs being just gone between 1 to 5 years.
Damn.
And then it was filled with, but on the bright side, well, there'll be new jobs created by AI. I think the unfortunate reality in something like that is that, yeah, that's true. Probably in 100 years, if we make it that far, 150 years, 200 years,
that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, these motherfuckers are acting like they're going to live past 100 years. Like, why are they,
prosperous
like,
if
what are
we
they
can make the
trying to
right
accomplish?
decisions
Like,
to
you're
get
not even
there.
gonna see this shit.
But it will be at the cost of tens of thousands of millions of people's lives. And we fail to address that. People are hurting right now. And we're about to just completely shake it all up. And I don't even fully believe that AI will disrupt as much as they're saying, as quickly as they're saying. But I'm also not going to disregard the fact that technology is increasing at a speed that we cannot comprehend. Does anybody know what happened between 1710 and 1725? Absolutely not. But I can guarantee you it wasn't as much of the changes that we've experienced between 2010 and 2025. One of the things that kind of just sent me over the edge was
2010,
in one
that's
of
from elementary school.
the news, one of the videos that I watched was a lady that was saying how college graduates or just Gen Z can overcompensate the increasingly difficult job market. And she said that you prioritize human networking, which I absolutely agree on. And I have said that in many times in my videos. I personally will never do another online job application. And for transparency, I've actually never gotten a job through an online job application platform. It's only been through human connection. And so that's why I promote that. I've also found a lot of recent success in things through this channel, being able to speak with people about jobs and things of that nature, as well as doing men's groups and other things of that nature. But what she said was, you need to do things that AI can't do. So start writing letters to those that did the interview, that helped you during the interview process. So if you got interviewed, you're going to write them a thank you letter for the opportunity for that. The reality is that if you did 300, 400, 500 job applications and you've had 5 interviews and none of them resulted in a hire, that you had to go through all of the insanity that I just mentioned in this video, that you're then going to say, thank you. Thank you for this heaping pile of garbage that is plaguing us. I can't stand that. And so that's where I feel the need to show I'm not being overly dramatic. I'm just trying to be
Nah, you not,
realistic.
bro.
I'm
Like, this
trying to
shit
address,
real life.
hey, this is a issue. This is a concern. This isn't just some YouTube video. This is a severe concern. I just want to go back and just show some of the reasons why employers and hiring managers are using ghost jobs. More than 60% of companies who reported posting ghost jobs said they did so to make employees believe their workload would be alleviated by new workers. 62% of
Wow.
respondents said they posted ghost jobs
That's so
expressly to
fucking
make their
slimy,
employees
bro.
feel replaceable.
Like, everything is
43%
thought out
stated
to a
they
fucking
used it
T,
to
bro.
give
If
the
you don't think
perception
that,
that
bro,
their
you
company was
crazy, bro.
thriving despite uncertain economic
Oh, y'all just
conditions.
heard that shit, bro?
85% go as far to interview candidates despite not actively hiring for the role. Nearly 70% of them said posting fake job listings boosted revenue. 65% said the job ads had a positive impact on morale. 77%
That's
reported an
fucking
uptick in
sad.
productivity among workers because they were scared of losing their job. And 70% believe this is morally acceptable to do this. And so when knowing that, I just can't stomach the fact of saying, hey, just tighten up your resume, work on your cover letter, go hop on LinkedIn and network more on there, or write a letter to your interviewer. I just feel that we are failing to address the ramifications that we are all about to experience. The fact that I post a minimum wage video and all that happens is that there's just arguments about if we should raise it or if we shouldn't, mostly that why we shouldn't, despite the video never actually addressing if we should or if we shouldn't. It was that none of us are getting paid what we are supposed to. If you adjusted minimum wage for productivity, 50% of Americans are making minimum wage. The way that we have just been divided is unbelievably dangerous. And the unfortunate thing is I am young. I am 25. When I started making this video, I
Okay, yeah,
truly
you
believed
older
that
than
if
me.
I provided facts
I'm say, brother,
and I
like, down
worked
there,
really
35.
hard on making sure that I provided things in a coherent and structured way, that it would help people realize that, oh, we need to come together. And each video, just slightly, I'm starting to believe that that isn't possible. And I won't give up and I won't stop believing that. But God, it's getting very difficult. And
Yeah, it's never gonna happen, bro, because so many
on
people in different
on a
situations, bro. Like, you
positive
can't
note,
tell
I know
somebody
that
to
I'm kind
value
of
something more than
contradicting what I
someone
just
else
said.
when you not even in their shoes, bro.
It is
Like,
very interesting that I
that's why that
released
shit never
the
gonna
ghost
happen.
job video on March 25th, 2025. I would suggest going and rewatching that video and then going and looking at the Library of Congress's report on ghost jobs published April 25th, 2025, and seeing maybe some of the similarities there. I just want to say that you can make a difference, and that the information, as long as you're having productive conversations, can actually begin to do something. That video got 500,000 views. There was a ton of comments. It was able to push. It was able to do something. So ultimately, what I always end with is, how do we make a change? How do we actually make a change? The way you actually make a change is by having productive conversations, because it will ripple down. It'll make a larger effect. If you have people really breaking down complex discussions to where people are engaging, that makes a massive, that is able to combat the absolute fake corporate media on all sides. It is an absolute just heaping pile of garbage. But ultimately, I hope this was able to provide value. Please don't walk away from this feeling down. Try to realize this is a realistic aspect of life.
It's not
Now we
feeling
need to do
down,
something
bro.
about it.
It's like
I unfortunately
it's
don't have
real
the
life, bro.
solution.
Like
So let's come together and try to figure that out.
this ain't like we just got done watching a little
Anyway,
fairy
thank
tale
you all so
movie.
much for your time. Until next time. Bye bye.
Hey man, hold on, I'm trying to make sure I ain't playing again. Hey bro, if y'all enjoyed that video, bro, just make sure y'all hit that like, comment, subscribe for your boy. Um, as a college graduate of myself, bro, like nothing that he said in that shit was a lie, bro. I swear to God. And I'm gonna be real, bro. It really got to a point. I'm gonna be real, like it's low key refreshing to see and hear that from a Caucasian man. I'm gonna be real. It got to a point I'm thinking just because a nigga a black with dreads, bro. Like everybody is going through this shit, bro. So I'm gonna be real, like that kind of lifted me up a little bit more, bro. I'm gonna be real, but y'all man, y'all just go for something serious. Like I said at the beginning, bro. Don't go for no bullshit if you think about going to school or just anything, bro. Like just make sure you got some shit planned out with it, bro. That's all I got to say. But we out, man.